Thank you for staying tuned. It's time for us to have a conversation on relationships this morning on Wake Up Nigeria. Tolu Afonja has us covered on that. She is a trainer, speaker, integrative life, relationship, and marriage coach, as well as a human resource professional of over 18 years, cutting across education, banking, consulting, and coaching. Fondly referred to as the nurturer, she is passionate about nurturing individuals and couples to take intentional steps to optimize the best versions of themselves in their life, in their relationship as well, and of course in their marriages. On relationship today, the focus is on the role of supportive communication in relationships. It's so good to have you in the studio with us this morning, Tolu. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, so there's communication and then there's supportive communication. What is the difference between communication as we know it and supportive communication?
So communication is really the process of passive message from one person through a medium to the other, to the receiver. Okay, that is basically what communication is. But when we talk about supportive communication, you're looking at the content. You're looking at the content with regards to ensuring that that communication is open, it's honest, it's transparent, and it's empathetic, especially with regards to difficult conversations that people have.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so well, that defines it as it is.
Yeah.
And let's also touch on why supportive communication is key.
Well, when we talk about supportive communication, we always say that first, communication, the fact that we can communicate it with one person or the other, it's quite important in any relationship. But supportive, because it helps us to, the importance is it helps us to navigate challenges, right? It helps us to build trust and transparency in that relationship. It helps one to be able to even align their goals, right? And whatever conflicts may come up, you're able to deal with such conflicts at the same time. Reviewing the status of the relationship, what is going on, the checks and the balances, while you are working together on whether it's a project or, whatever it is that both parties have engaged in. So it's quite important that we are able to navigate, knowing that we are different personalities. So how do we want to support one another to be able to achieve why the relationship even exists in the first place?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the steps towards achieving a supportive communication relationship?
Well,
That's a mouthful.
I would say let's look at the growth model. I'm growing, you're growing, and both of us are growing together.
Okay.
So the G in growth is goal setting together. What are our goals individually and collectively in this relationship? Right? We're setting our goals together, and we are mindful of those goals as we work together in the relationship. R will be for regular checks. Where are we? What's going on? Where have we gone beyond, even with regards to our attitude, our behaviors, and how we are, aligning together. The O will be open conversations, open dialogue. So I'm not hiding things from you, you're not hiding things from me, and that on its own builds trust and transparency. The G will be working together as a team.
That would be the W.
Sorry, the W. That will be working together as a team. So even though I'm an individual, because I'm mindful of you and what you're bringing in the relationship and why the relationship exists in the first place, we are able to work together as a team. And the T will be transparency in everything that we'll do. Transparency is optimal. And the H will be handling conflicts constructively. So not just allowing conflicts to just, escaping it or running away from conflict, but we know this is a conflict, we can identify it as a conflict, and then what are we going to do about it? So those are some, the growth model.
So how do you achieve all of this? I'm asking this because so many couples are struggling with even communicating effectively. That sometimes one is trying to be okay, stay calm, the other person is blowing their tips off, and then of course you're also trying as much as possible to ensure you're on the same page. The other person is misunderstanding it for one reason or the other, and then you're not talking about supportive communication as well. Many couples struggle with this. If you were to advise a couple were trying to achieve this, what would you tell them?
I would say first, how well do you know yourself and your partner? Because self-awareness is very critical.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence as well. Of course, one of the foundations of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. Self-awareness, knowing yourself, knowing when the triggers are there. So sometimes we say we're communicating, but then again, we are being triggered, even in that conversation, that we find ourselves on either an attacking, line or a defensive line. And once those things are there, without really understanding what is going on with you or with your partner, then things go haywire. So self-awareness is very important. How well do you know yourself? How aware are you of the triggers or not just triggers. So we usually connect triggers to things that will help us to, go out of the way. But then not just the triggers, the things that also empower you in the relationship. So how self-aware are you of yourself and of your partner? And then if you also know how your partner is in terms of what he or she is projecting on you, and that may be a trigger for you, whether to, be better, you are able to come to a place of whether to calm down or to go away, whatever dimension you want to take it. So self-awareness, awareness of your partner in terms of what he or she is doing. What are you projecting as well? Even in the conversation, or, it's not just when you're talking. We talk about communication in both verbal and non-verbal cues. So your non-verbal cues, what are you projecting? Your insecurities, securities, what is it that you're projecting that your partner may also have taken in, and then also empathy. Empathy, very critical. Supportive communication comes with empathy. So if you have an awareness that, your partner is speaking or communicating or behaving from a place of, experience, or there's been a trigger, your empathy would help you to redirect how you communicate with that person, knowing that, this person I understand where he's coming from or where she's coming from. So based on that empathy, the line of conversation, the content, the tone, and everything will align such that your partner will be sort of more attracted to you, that, you're coming from a place of understanding, and would even reflect on his or her actions. So
on the one hand, there's understanding, there's empathy. But then on the other hand, it's also important, I dare say, for couples to understand that the other person is not to blame for your ex's mistakes.
Exactly.
And I'm pointing this out because of the trigger you mentioned, the fact that, the person might have had some sort of PTSD that is responsible for the way they act. However, for a young person, not even a young person, for anybody in a relationship, how can they manage their emotions such that they can assimilate the supportive communication without giving off the negative vibes from their past?
Well, what you don't know, you cannot harness, you cannot manage. So the first thing is knowledge of yourself. And that's why I started with self-awareness. Sometimes, and we all have these blind spots, right? Sometimes we have people telling us, we have people saying, you acted this way, you said this and all. But if you do not realize the impact that it's having on you, not even on others. First, you have to take ownership. If you not realize the impact it's having on you, then you as an individual will not do anything about it. If you do not see that it's a limitation in any way, you will not do anything about it. I recall, and this is in any relationship, not just even in boy-girl, husband-wife relationship. I recall a time when a place I used to work in, someone told me and said, Tolu, every morning when we say hello, good morning, the first thing is you say what is not right with the person. You say, see your hair, you didn't arrange it well. Instead of just saying what is right.
Your kind of
yeah, that was the feedback that they gave me.
You know what?